Hi guys.
Right.
Yeah, got a good reserve.
Can you let anyone out? Take my seat.
How are you, Nico? Good to see you.
Morning, Eddie.
Mark?
Obviously a disappointing weekend for you. Now the dust has settled, you've had a chance to reflect on the game. How do you remember it and how does it leave you?
Yeah, the game. It was a strange game because very little between the two sides at the start of the game, and we created a few chances. They had a couple of chances as well, and of course the game hinged on a key moment, one that goes against us, and a quite strange circumstances. I thought from that point we rallied well, we stuck at our task, we stayed in the game, and again there was a few chances at the end of the game to get a point, but it didn't quite happen.
Obviously it's now 10 defeats in 12 Premier League matches. How much is this hurting you at the moment?
It goes without saying, you live, breathe every second of it. I think it affects your life, it affects everything. When you, in your own mind, aren't doing the job that you want to do, defined by results, it really hurts. And for me, there's only one way to react, and that's to fight back, to keep going, and try and prove people wrong.
How much does this situation make you question your own role at the club and what you've done and what you're trying to do and the players?
No, it doesn't make me question my role at the club at all. It makes me focused on the job, focus on the role, focus on how to try and win football matches. That's all it does. And I think that's the same. If you're winning, you try and win the next one. If you're not winning, you try and win the next one. It doesn't change. Everyone's reaction to you, everyone's focus around you changes, but yours can't. It's got to be about the football.
Have you personally, obviously you've had challenges throughout your career as a manager and as a player. How much of those experiences are you now having to draw upon for this current predicament? Yeah,
I think all my playing career, it serves as a good tool for this moment, because that wasn't particularly had its moments, but it wasn't particularly successful. So I think sort of drawing back on all those feelings, all those times when you've had a setback in your career and you've had to go again, had to find a solution to a problem. My management career is the same. Lots of difficult moments that I've had to negotiate to sit here now. So I think I've got the bank of knowledge and experience to fall back on, and I think I'm going to need that now.
Obviously, we are in a January transfer window, so you have the opportunity to make additions to the squad, freshen things up. Have you had the chance to do that? Are you getting closer to potentially bringing anyone in that might be able to help things?
Not imminently. I think my main focus now, as I sit here, is this press conference and then preparing for Brighton.
You were linked last week with the Borussia Dortmund player, Jacob Brun-Larsen. Has there been any developments on that particular deal, that story?
Nothing to update you on any incomings, Mark.
Is he a player that potentially could fit the mould for what you need right now?
Nothing to feed back on January. I've got a game tomorrow. I'm going to focus on that only.
Obviously, he's a tricky one as well, because as a manager in the current predicament, do you look at players that can keep you in the Premier League or players that potentially would be strong in the Championship? Is that something that's on your mind when signing players at the moment?
The Championship and next season is the furthest thing from my mind. It's about now. It's about trying to win games. We're very, very close to the teams above us if we can win a couple of games. So our players' only thought should be on the here and now, staying very much in the moment.
And has there been any bids for any of your players at the moment?
No.
Obviously, like you say, huge game with Brighton up next. South Coast derby, and with the teams in a very close proximity in the table as well, and the fact that Bournemouth are on a poor run, it makes it a huge game. What's your mentality and thoughts ahead of this one?
Well, my mentality and thoughts are we have to fight back. We've talked internally a lot about our spirit and how that shows on the pitch, and I think at times it's been there. Probably at times it's maybe not been evident. That consistency and that mindset, I think, has to be there in every moment, in every game between now and the end of the season. So that's what we're focusing on. But fighting back collectively with our supporters, with everyone connected with the club that wants us to do well, that's what we have to really focus on now, and turn all our energies against the world outside. We have to become very internal, I think, and use all the negativity around us as in a positive way to show that we are still fighting and we can do it.
Are you potentially asking your players to be more aggressive than they have been before? Is this a fighting spirit mentality you need for this game?
I think we always speak about being aggressive. I wouldn't say maybe aggression is the right word, because I think that can overspill and then you can become indisciplined. I think it's about that feeling of we're fighting against everybody. We're going to be written off, we're going to be questioned, we're going to be doubts around us, but internally we can have none of that. And if there is that around us, then we have to turn it into a positive. We have to turn it into a reaction that says, no, we are still here and we are good enough, and now we have to go and prove it.
How do you assess Brighton, because they're struggling as well for form, just one win in their last 8 matches in the Premier League?
A change of style from last season. I think Graham's done a very good job, continues to implement how he wants his team to play. A lot of respect for him and his team and how they go about things. But the Premier League is very difficult. A tough league to win games inconsistently, as we know. So I expect a good game between two teams who are battling for points.
Are you going to have any luck with any of the injuries? Are you expecting anyone to come back into the side that you haven't?
Lloyd Kelly's getting closer. He played in a reserve game last week, played 60 minutes. It's whether we consider him fit enough for the Premier League is the decision we'll have to make.
Obviously that's a big decision as well, because of Stephen Cook's suspension now, and leaves a little bit of a gap at the back, particularly with Chris Metham's injury as well. Does that mean you're going to have to shuffle things around a bit?
Well, with Steve missing, yes. But yeah, we'll wait and see on Lloyd. He had a muscle injury, so we have to be a little bit careful with him. And the Premier League's very different in terms of intensity. So we need to make sure he's fit enough to be able to perform. But the good news is he's getting closer, and if it's not this game, then it'll be the next one.
And Joshua King?
Yeah, he won't make this game.
Jack Stacey?
Won't make this game.
And obviously Chris Metham, as we touched upon there, another big blow for you and for him as well, because he was just getting a run of games and developing as a player.
Yeah, Chris was in a good place. Just before his injury, he had a run of games. He looked like he was really growing to the task, getting used to the Premier League and everything that entails. So big blow for him, big blow for us, because he has everything, I think, to be a top centre-half at this level for many years to come.
And finally, with all the negativity around and the poor run and things, is it important to point out to the players that it's only 3 points, you're only 3 points adrift, and that's just one win?
Yeah, I think staying level and staying positive while acknowledging the fact that if the run continues, then that will soon become a different challenge where we're actually looking to just stay close to teams around us and above us, and that can't happen. So yes, it's just one win, but we need that one win to happen. It's very much in our hands. We can do it. We're not cut adrift. It's not a hopeless cause, as many people may like to make out around us. But as I said, using those doubters and that criticism as a positive, I think, is the only way forward for us at this moment.
Eddie Howe, how lifted were you by? You've mentioned fighting spirit a lot today. There seemed a real show of that at Carrow Road. Perhaps more than usual. Did that even? Perhaps analysing after the initial sort of reaction of the result, did it give you a lift?
For me, that should be there every week, every game, every moment. I still think we can do better than we did against Norwich. I think it was improved, but I think we can do more. But I think with 10 men, I thought that was probably the most pleasing aspect. That we did knuckle down, we battled, we did scrap in that moment in the game, and we did stay in the match. And then because of that, we had chances later in the game to get something from the match. So yes, there was some positive signs, but I think in this position it's very careful you don't delude yourself. And we lost the game in a game that we needed to get something from it, but we will take the positives from it and try and take that into our next match.
I don't know if you've seen him this morning yet, but how was Steve Cook after he spoke to the press at Carrow Road?
I didn't actually see him after. I saw him before I spoke to the press, and yeah, he cares so much about the team. about the club, his history, his own history. He's been here a long time, and I think moments like that, when he found it difficult to explain what had happened, then you can only support the player. He didn't intentionally do something to damage the team. He'd never do that. And that's important that not just me, but the whole club, the supporters, rally around him and support him.
I know there's pressure on every single game, but are we seeing what a different type of pressure can do to players with that example? But also when perhaps other players are sort of going into slightly more safe mode, perhaps not taking the risks that we like.
Yeah, I think it's a different experience for a lot of our players. I think this is quite unique. I think the Premier League has a way of, with the microscope that's on the players, psychologically getting into the players' heads at times. I think the scale of the games or the detail of the analysis, whatever it may be. But I do agree with you to an extent. I think there is a part of the team that is playing slightly safer or making different decisions that they would normally make on autopilot when playing successfully and playing with freedom and doing well. The challenge for us is, I think, to try and get back to that place where you are on autopilot and doing things without any type of deep thought, because that's when you play at your best.
It's impossible replicating that pressure in the week. So how do you do it? How do you change things and help that side of it?
Well, the reality is that the pressure that you're talking about doesn't really exist. It's all created in the mind. And it's, I think, really important to explain to the players, to get them to go back in time, why they started playing the game, why they love the game, and just getting that freedom and enjoyment back into their play. I think if you are enjoying something and turning up every day with that excitement of actually playing the sport that you love, you'll play well. So it's really going back to basics with them and trying to get that feeling across.
You mentioned earlier about how the job is sort of all-consuming. What do you do outside of football to switch off?
At the moment, I'm not doing too much, I've got to be honest. You focus on the job. My usual escape is to walk the dog and spend time with him, but he's not very well at the moment, so that's very difficult. So, being with my kids, I think, is a nice escape for me, although they are beginning to be aware of results, so that even that's quite difficult at the minute. But no, still spending time with them and enjoying being a dad is nice.
So I think Nathaniel mentioned recently that he, in the past, has been to the cinema and then come out and not remember which film he's watched, for example. Is it difficult to switch off?
Yeah, going to watch a film at the moment for me would just seem wrong. I don't know. You live your life. At the moment, I'm living my life to try and improve results, try and improve performances of my players. And until that happens, I won't sort of allow myself any kind of escapism, I think, because it's too important at this moment that we try and turn things around.
And just finally, in terms of the players, do you think the effort is there, it's just the results aren't?
I think the will to do well and the desire to achieve is 100% there. I think it's not always evident on the pitch because the emotionally and the human psychology, it is difficult to sometimes predict. Confidence affects you in different ways, but I can assure everybody the players care deeply. They're really hurting at the moment and they want to come out of this spell as quickly as possible.